Hey everybody, welcome back to Aspect of the Day. Welcome to now, finally, what is truly a new astrological season. Not only is it Aries season, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, but the moon is also in Aries at the moment, indicating the end of that limbo period, as I like to call it, between the end of Pisces sun season and somewhere near the beginning or the first third of Aries sun season, where the moon is in the signs, traveling through the zodiac and trying to reach that starting point of Aries. So especially being that this is an eclipse of sun and moon in Aries, I wanted to take a less random approach to Aspect of the Day today and talk about sun conjunct moon, what it means in the birth chart, regardless of the fact that that's what's going on in the sky right now. Okay, remember, you are more your birth chart. You're not so much the externals that are happening to you, although eclipses like this one and certain astrological alignments do have their impacts on our lives. There's no doubt about that. But they're really more meant to give us an indicator of timing for certain kinds of events. They're not predeterministic, if that makes sense. This is a topic that I discuss on this channel ad infinitum and will continue to. So anyway, sun conjunct moon in the birth chart. What does that mean? I'm going to read through what the Astrologer's Handbook has to say on this particular aspect, then give a few thoughts of my own. Sun conjunct moon represents identification of the feelings with the will. So moon being more feelings, sun being more willpower. Emotional impulsiveness is combined with the tendency to concentrate all of one's forces in one area of expression. Right, so that's the case with any conjunction, is that two parts of ourselves are being expressed in one part of the chart through the same style. Remember, signs are about styles of expression. But we're talking about the sun and the moon, the two biggest conscious parts of ourselves working in the same part of the chart, being expressed in the same style. Health problems result when the solar energy overpowers the nurturing lunar principle that rules the etheric body, the force field around which the physical body is organized. Physical vitality is burned out by overactivity and overstimulation. Yes and no. Yes, to the extent that because there's such an extreme power of this particular sign, this particular area of the chart that the sun and moon are being expressed in, that you're placing all of your eggs in one basket all the time, so to speak. And too much of anything is going to lead us to exhaustion. But at the same time, I will say, based on my experience, having had clients with this alignment, that sun conjunct moon people do have a tremendous reserve of energy to do exactly that, to put all of their focus into one thing at a time. As long as they know their limits, their decision making is actually quite simple and can help to direct their lives and their energies in a very linear fashion, which can get things done, especially working in one stint. But they have to know their limits, like anyone else. It's only more amplified here because those two major conscious parts of oneself are in one part of the chart doing one particular thing at a time. This conjunction also indicates a new cycle of experience dealing with those houses ruled by the sun and moon and the house in which they are placed. So you always look to the houses for the themes that and the contexts that are affected by the planets involved. There's a tendency to alternate between masculine and feminine roles. Passive action can suddenly become aggressive and vice versa. People with this conjunction are active and creative, where their selfhood ties in with home, spouse, and children. Yeah, so these people cannot help but to have all areas of their life combined. They may struggle with knowing where exactly the different compartments need to remain, but rather let all of those compartments and those containers spill over into each other. They see everything as being part of one thing in the whole of their lives. And that's great. I mean, one of the things that conjunctions teaches us is coherence, because a conjunction involves two planets which cohere with one another. They have the same style. They deal with the same themes. They do lots of the same things. It's just two different parts of ourselves doing those same things. So those two parts of us are in coherence with one another. But one of the things that we need to learn, especially with this kind of conjunction, but with any conjunction, is the art of separation, the art of compartmentalization, keeping things in the right containers when they need to be, right? Rather than having everything in this just, soup of oneness all the time, because everything is simultaneously the same and different, right? Is one and also part of the whole one, which is reality and existence, all right? So these people can often have a little trouble knowing the difference, when to keep things in their own compartments versus when to spill them over into others and to connect everything, because they're good at that connection piece. Now, remember, just because your sun and your moon are in the same sign, that does not mean that they are in a conjunction. In fact, they can be in two different signs and be in a conjunction if one's at the end of a sign and the other is at the beginning of the next sign. It depends on the orb, as with any conjunction, okay? And any more than 10 degrees apart, it's not really a conjunction. Okay, it has to be within 10 degrees, preferably within 7, to properly be a conjunction that you're going to feel. And you're going to feel it in the sense that you're not going to feel the separation between these two parts of yourselves. In this case being the sun, your willpower, how you really express yourself externally, what that God energy that you exude looks like, versus your mind, your internal self, how it is that you process and make sense of things internally, and therefore who you are more so when you're by yourself, not around anyone, not being influenced by other energies. If you can't tell the difference between those two, then you might have this conjunction. If you can, even if they're expressed in the same sign, then your orb is probably more than 10 degrees, right? Let's see, what else can I say about this? So body constitution and overall health, like was briefly indicated in this description, is very much affected by what sign you have this conjunction in and what element particularly. If you have this conjunction in a fire sign, you're going to be more pitta, you're going to have a more fiery, physically active, need for a lot of movement, dense, high muscle density, but have a nice trim and fit, and perhaps toned and muscular kind of physique naturally. Probably doesn't take you very much to, put on muscle. If you have this conjunction in an air sign, you're going to be a little more lanky, a little more tall, lean, trim, maybe somewhat medium to high muscle density, but you don't really have quite as much bulk. You have this in an earth sign, you're going to be more kapha, more earthy, dense, but a little bulkier. And you'll be grounded. Earth is grounded. Earth is strong. Earth moves slowly, okay? So you're able to roll with the punches and work in longer stints, probably. Whereas with fire, you might get in there and burn out. Hit it hard, but burn out quickly. Earth has a little more longevity to it with this conjunction. And if you have this conjunction in water, then you're probably a little on the juicier or fluffier side. So let me know if any of that pertains to you. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Aspect of the Day. And hey, I hope your astrological year goes extremely well. I do feel like there's something in the air, and there are lots of astrological transits coming up that I could point to, namely Mars entering Leo on April 18th, coming right up. See some shifts happening there. And hope you have a great astrological year. Hit me up if you would like a reading, especially one that's more Saturn oriented. That's what I specialize in. And I'll see you next time on Aspect of the Day. Cheers.